Josh Harris's life is an inspiration as an example of the resilience, family history, and dogged determination required to face the perils of one of the world's most dangerous jobs. Though inspiring, his journey is not without its challenges. Beginning as an apprentice under his father's tutelage in the Bering Sea, he eventually rose to the post of captain of the Cornelia Marie on the hit Discovery Channel show Deadliest Catch. But Discovery only recently announced Josh's exit from the show, catching viewers off guard. After that, what happened? What was the rationale behind his dismissal? How does this impact the future of Deadliest Catch? We will go into the genuine reasons behind his leave shortly, so stay tuned. The energetic and well-known crab fishing industry figure Captain Phil Harris first introduced us to the Harris family on Deadliest Catch years ago, and Josh Harris has been an important cog in the wheel alongside his father. Following his father's death, Josh had big shoes to fill. His untimely demise in 2010 from a stroke shocked viewers, but Josh kept going and finally got his captain's license in 2013. Carrying on his father's work was important to Josh, therefore he became Cornelia Marie's leader. At the helm of the Cornelia Marie, Josh seemed to be forging his own path with a bunch of experienced fishing aficionados by his side. Josh appeared to have a life full with prospects up until the fall of 2022. That changed, though, when he gained a household name as a star of the hit TV show Deadliest Catch. Being one of the most famous captains in Deadliest Catch history, he has won over viewers with his gutsy leadership and incredible fishing skills throughout the years. Why, though, did the supporters' reaction to Josh's firing run so deep? What made Josh's journey unique was that he wasn't your average captain. He continued his father's work in one of the riskiest occupations on Earth. As he went from being a greenhorn deckhand to a seasoned commander, he won the hearts of his admirers. Despite the audience's encouragement, he would face challenges beyond the high seas. Before the truth about a horrible act he did as a child came to light, Josh's life seemed to be full of options. However, everything changed as his history began to haunt him. So, without further ado, let's have a look at the real reason why Deadliest Catch fired Josh Harris. While nothing is ever certain, one thing is certain: Josh will never again be associated with a reality TV show. The sudden exile and banishing of a beloved celebrity from one of the most famous reality TV shows begs the question, what went wrong? It took some time to decide to fire Josh Harris. There was a link to recently rediscovered details about his past. Details of a case that happened in court about 2 decades ago came to light in the year 2022. Following the emergence of the claims, Discovery re-evaluated his involvement with the program. Claims in these cases that generated public concern and had far-reaching consequences are well known. After suffering several tragic losses, the Deadliest Catch community had to decide if Josh's past was compatible with the network in order to protect its image and achieve a huge audience. Tragically, a young producer named Joseph McMahon was murdered in a brutal attack outside of his residence in 2015. When longtime captain and beloved by many Tony Lara passed away suddenly from a heart attack the same year, the fishing world audience wept. Captain Blake Painter, a beloved figure by many, passed away 3 years later at the age of 38, perhaps as a result of substance misuse. Tragically, the toll continued in 2020 with the passing of 38-year-old Deacon Melon Reyes and 33-year-old fisherman Nick Maglishan, who both lost their battles with addiction. The deaths of these loved ones have devastated everyone who knew them, and their memory will live on. Josh courageously chose to take a break from Deadliest Catch in 2017 to prioritize his own health. After avoiding his problems for a year, he was finally able to conquer them during this rest stop in his travels. Josh's father, Phil, instilled in him a lifelong passion for fishing from an early age. Josh became an expert fisherman as he matured, leaving a legacy to live up to by continually seeking new ways to enhance his profession. Josh followed in his father's footsteps with enthusiasm, embracing and more than living up to the lofty standards set for him. Josh has been a fan favorite over the years owing to his incredible sea abilities and unwavering attitude, which he has showcased in 184 episodes of Deadliest Catch. He came back to the performance even more determined and driven than before, only to be met with this difficult predicament. A child has been born to Josh and his long-term partner, Jenna Bullis. They welcomed a beautiful daughter, Kinsley, into the world in 2013. The news that came out in 2022 was awful and upsetting otherwise, but it was made even worse by the fact that he had a little daughter. The release of disturbing details about Josh Harris's experience in 1998 altered his relationship with Deadliest Catch. In 1999, as revealed in a now-defunct Reddit thread, Harris was apprehended for engaging in improper and illegal conduct with a juvenile. The charges stemmed from allegations that he had committed a heinous crime against a minor in July 1998. Allegedly a neighbor and the daughter of a Deccan, Josh Harris was basically a family friend when he was accused of assaulting a young girl improperly. As a result of the lengthy time it took for DNA processing, the victim's mother went straight to the police with the accusations after the victim informed her about the assault. Josh was not officially taken into custody until 1999, even though evidence had already been collected from the location of the incident. The crime lab verified that the DNA sample belonged to Josh after the analysis of the goods was finished on March 25, 1999, and a search warrant was granted. After being taken into custody, Josh was ordered to remain in the house with his father and stepmother. He was prohibited from having any contact with the victim or any child under the age of 12 without the supervision of an adult. The reality that he was confined to his home by his father complicates his feelings for many viewers of Deadliest Catch. Millions of people love the show, yet the famous captain let his son appear on it despite knowing about his troubled past. Without a doubt, this has morally questionable implications. On July 14, 1998, Josh admitted his guilt. "I made physical contact with the victim that would have caused discomfort to a normal person. Following my unsettling behavior, I proceeded to speak to the victim about mature topics that were beyond her age. Documents filed in Washington state's court system indicate that fulfilling my own desires was one of my objectives." Harris allegedly underwent a process to gain insight into and mastery of his own affectionate and social impulses while serving a 9-month term following his conviction. According to Discovery, firing Josh Harris was not an impulsive decision. Despite their relative silence on the matter, Discovery Channel has made it clear in a single comment that they are cognizant of the issue. No further episodes of this series will feature Josh, even if the channel has remained tight-lipped about the details of the case. The channel's stance on the matter is now crystal apparent thanks to this move. Deadliest Catch Bloodline fans were greeted with a page not found warning on Discovery's website shortly after the news broke. The network understood the significance of his role to the show and the extent to which his departure would disappoint fans. But after thinking over the latest revelations, they thought there was no other choice. Given that Discovery is a network that caters to families, the staff knew that retaining Josh would likely result in backlash from viewers and sponsors. There was a major issue with public relations just from the claims. Even though it cost them one of their biggest stars, Josh's exit from Discovery showed how committed they were to moral convictions. The departure of Josh had an impact on more than just Discovery. It was a devastating blow to the Deadliest Catch fandom. A lot of people were surprised, confused, and furious. They had followed Josh's battle for years, so they felt a connection to his narrative. Some fans were cheering Discovery's decision, while others thought Josh deserved a second shot, and they were all voicing their opinions on social media. A larger conversation about accountability, growth, and second chances has been ignited by the entire incident. How the channel will deal with Josh Harris's extensive background in the show is anybody's guess. Removing Harris's major appearance from the play would be an enormous task. It is now obvious that Harris will not be appearing in the spin-off episodes because he has just made an appearance in Deadliest Catch Bloodline. Will the performance go on without him, though? Since the summer of 2022, when his troubled history finally came back to haunt him, Harris has stayed out of the limelight and hasn't shared anything on social media. Where does it leave the Deadliest Catch series? Despite discovering the truth about a show they have loved for a long time, viewers continue to watch it. After Josh leaves, Cornelia Marie's future is clouded with uncertainty. Josh and Casey McManus were the yacht's co-captains, and although he remains in control, the absence of the Harris family will make things different. The fate of the boat, which has grown iconic on Deadliest Catch, has fans wondering whether it will stay or go with a new captain. The cruise will undoubtedly have a different vibe without Josh. Even though the show will evolve and adapt, many viewers will long for the emotional connection they felt to the Harris family's past. Indeed, the dangers, camaraderie, and excitement of life at sea are all part of Deadliest Catch, not only the captains. Nevertheless, where did it all start? Growing up in Seattle, Washington, Josh was immersed in the fishing culture from a young age. His dad, Phil Harris, was a legendary crab fisherman in the business. Thanks to his magnetic personality, no-nonsense attitude, and incredible work ethic, Phil was known as one of the hardest captains in Alaska's crab fishing industry. As a child, Josh felt a profound respect for his father Phil's love of the sea and his special relationship with it. Josh considered fishing more of a lifestyle than a mere occupation, unlike his father. He revered and respected his father's yearly forays into the ocean, and he aspired to follow in Phil's footsteps. But Phil was apprehensive about taking his men fishing. He was well informed about the dangers of crab fishing in the frigid Bering Sea, including the long hours, difficult working conditions, and potential hazards. But as Josh matured, his determination to show his father how capable he was only grew stronger. Josh was slow to dive headfirst into the fishing world. When he was a young adult, he initially struggled to carve out his own niche. In search of a calling, he dabbled in many different fields of work and hobbies. But his connection to the water and his desire to honor his father's heritage kept him coming back to crab fishing. In the end, he went along with his dad on board the Cornelia Marie, a famous crab boat in Alaska and a pivotal figure in Deadliest Catch. For Josh, a greenhorn, learning the ropes the hard way was inevitable. The extreme conditions in the Bering Sea demanded fortitude, determination, and physical and mental fortitude on a daily basis. But Josh was determined to show his father that he could do the difficult task. Over time, he became an expert crab fisherman. Moving from lugging equipment to setting pots, he began to understand the unyielding cadence of life at sea. While serving on the Cornelia Marie, Josh had the opportunity to closely examine his father's leadership style. Phil, the notoriously difficult captain, was known for both challenging his crew to their limits and showing unwavering devotion to them. The relationship between Phil and his employees was complex. Despite his high expectations for their work ethic and perseverance, he treated them with camaraderie and respect. Taking a page out of this captain's playbook, Josh aspired to be one in the future by learning from his mistakes. In 2004, the Discovery Channel premiered Deadliest Catch, which brought the captain and crew stories to a global audience and exposed viewers to the harsh realities of crab fishing in Alaska. A fan favorite from the start, Phil Harris won over audiences with his forthright personality and boundless love for his loved ones and yacht. In their roles as crew members and Phil's sons, Josh and Jake rose to fame on the show, and audiences watched as they faced the challenges of working in one of the most dangerous jobs on Earth. Phil suffered a devastating stroke while at sea in 2010, though, and tragedy ensued. He was taken to a hospital, where he seemed to be doing better, but he passed away soon after. Many people were deeply upset by Phil's demise, including the Harris family and the Deadliest Catch community and fan base. The death of Josh's father devastated him because he had lost a friend and a mentor. He had not adequately prepared for the unexpected responsibility of carrying on his father's legacy. In the wake of Phil's death, Josh was faced with a critical decision. It was his duty to honor his father, even if he could have just quit fishing. After Phil passed away, Josh made it his mission to inherit the Cornelia Marie and carry on his father's work. But financially and emotionally, this journey would prove to be challenging. Going from crew member to captain was an enormous undertaking. In addition to the crew, Josh had to prove himself to the audience and other seasoned captains. In his pursuit of mastery over the managerial and commercial facets of crab fishing, he encountered a steep learning curve. Leading the Cornelia Marie was not an easy undertaking, considering the financial load of boat maintenance, crew employment, and ensuring catches were made each season. Many were critical of Josh because they doubted he would be able to continue his father's work. Nevertheless, he persisted through each season, learning to lead, getting through tough financial times, and earning the admiration of his colleagues and viewers along the way. His selection of the seasoned fisherman Casey McManus to serve as co-captain was a pivotal decision. Because of McManus's expertise and consistent presence, Josh was able to grow as a leader and improve the boat's management. Through grit, setbacks, and eventual triumphs, Josh earned his own reputation. Viewers of Deadliest Catch witnessed his growth, transformation, and adversity firsthand. As he went through his ups and downs trying to keep the Cornelia Marie running, the audience cheered him on. Fishing wasn't the only purpose of Josh's journey. He wanted to prove to everyone that he could carry on his father's work and find his own identity. Problems arose for Josh as he progressed. There was a lot of financial and personal pressure on him to keep the Cornelia Marie profitable and honor his father's legacy. Being a reality TV star also meant dealing with the scrutiny and expectations of the public, which added to his famous pressures. Because his supporters loved his determination but were quick to criticize his flaws, Josh felt extra pressure to provide a good performance. As a public servant, Josh faces the challenges of being a human being, and fans are reminded of that. And the weight of his ancestry, despite the fact that these revelations have made his tale more convoluted. Josh Harris's story is interesting and complex. Growing up, he looked up to his father, endured a rigorous profession, and learnt leadership via adversity. By assuming control of the Cornelia Marie, he showed his devotion to his father and his desire to preserve the family's heritage. Along the road, Josh has experienced both highs and lows, but he has persisted and remained driven. The power of perseverance and the significance of family bonds are ultimately shown in Josh's narrative. Regardless of the disagreements and letdowns, he remains an integral part of the tale of the deadliest capture and the tradition of crab fishing in Alaska. Fans will always remember Josh, the son of Harris, as someone who triumphed over tremendous odds, assumed incredible responsibilities, and made an impression in the commercial fishing sector. The extent to which one's past should determine their present and future is called into question by his dismissal. Yet, it also serves as a timely reminder of the weight of responsibility that comes with being a public figure and the consequences that may follow from actions taken in the past. The industry is changing, as seen by Discovery's pick. Networks are more cognizant than ever of the signals they send, and while fans may miss Josh, honesty and responsibility are now vital. Even if it's a challenging situation in general, it shows the values that our society is aiming for. Who can say what the next Deadliest Catch twist will be? After a major character like Josh leaves, there will definitely be a hole in the story. The resiliency of these workers, though, is the one thing that this program has shown us.